Good evening. This video is just discussing various things here with oh the whole gamut of theism, theism in general, especially in our culture, this Christianity, especially of late. And me and one of my friends, John, were talking last night, and he said he found his preferred religion, and it's called apatheism, which I said, yeah, that's good, you know. It's supposedly some real religion thing or something that's set up. You know, I thought about that a little bit, and I said, you know what? I said, you know, I don't even care about the whole thing that much, so I'm just gonna call mine Maytheism, like meh, because you know what? After all the study I've done, and you know, let me give you a little background on myself first. And some people know, you know, my friends know, friends and family here on YouTube know that I grew up in a very religious household. You know, my grandfather was a pastor, my father was a pastor, so I've been there and done all that. Believe me, it's nothing new to me. I mean, I've been through the Bible. You know, when I was 10 years old, probably read it 4 or 5 times. But back then, you know, it was a family deal. You know, our grandfather lived with us at the time, so basically all I had Bible assignments, and weren't allowed to ask any questions either. And even back in those days, you know, I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of questions, but of course, you know, this is in the late 70s, and you know, there was no sources of information. But I had questions about things, even what we were taught in Sunday school, about things like a Noah's Ark, you know. I'd ask, why? Why was there a Noah's Ark? Oh, well, because, well, God wanted to save all the animals, right? He didn't want to save all the people? Oh, no, all the people in the world were just horrible. God had to kill everybody. He had to kill everybody. I'm sitting there asking this kind of stuff going, oh, yeah, all the people in the world were so bad at the time. Well, what did they do? Oh, they were just behaving poorly. They were not worshiping this God enough, you know. So, and as a kid, and even into your adult life and all this, it's just kind of, yeah, you know, that's the way it is, you know. But with Maytheism, you know, I've done enough research and I've read enough books and I've watched enough lectures at this point to know that a lot of the stuff that we're being told is just not it's not true. Simple as that. I mean, I've brought this stuff up in some recent videos. I think people by now should kind of get where I'm coming from with it. We now know that the answer to why the Bible is as it is just, that's just it. That's God, and you can't argue with him. Well, you know what? I take a look at it. A God that is supposedly the Yahweh of the Bible, who created, you know, the entire universe, just decided to create it with the purpose of basically lording over people, being involved in their lives to this degree of what they do, and really his only concern, what it comes down to, is you have to worship me, and a lot. Okay? That's all there is to it. Well, you know, excuse me for calling BS on it, because, you know, first of all, just our knowledge of it is now, okay, so there's a being somewhere that just decided to create this entire universe just for the purpose of lording over the people and either giving them gold in a mansion or just condemning them to eternal damnation in hell, fire, all this stuff. Well, that, you know what? I got to say, it's immoral. It's an immoral God, and the actions of this God in this Bible are immoral. The rules he set down in the Old Testament are immoral. You're supposed to stone your kids to death if they misbehave. You know, I'm sorry. You know, modern day Christians, you can't disown it. All right? It says it. God is unchanging. You can't now say, oh, we only follow the New Testament. Really, you only follow the New Testament? Well, then you also do not follow the Ten Commandments, the creation story, numerous other things. Well, the prophecies that are the very basis of Christianity today, they're all in the Old Testament. The Ten Commandments are all in there. Adam and Eve are in there. All of that is in the Old Testament, but somehow you can kind of remove yourself from some of that. Say, we don't do that anymore. That's the Old Testament. But still, any Christian today will tell you, oh yeah, well, we still follow the Ten Commandments, of course. Well, what lays that out? Nothing in the Bible canon, which, by the way, the Bible canon, what is it? It's basically, it's simply a collection of old stories from Hebraic tribal nomads who, at about 380 AD, they decided to gather it all up and form the canon. The Vatican did. That's basically what the Bible is. You know, a lot of people believe, and I know I did for a very long time, that the Bible is a story, and it was written from page 1 through the. It's not how it was written at all. As a matter of fact, much of the contents of the Bible are unknown. Don't know who wrote most of it. Just the Gospels of Luke, John, Mark. It's unknown authorship. It's the Gospels of. Listen to some, or read some Bert Ehrman books. He's a professor of religious studies at Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He's written 10 books on this stuff, 10, 20 maybe. He's done all the research from the source. What we have is copies upon copies. No original authorship. Nobody knows where most of this stuff came from, and it's stories told by word of mouth for hundreds of years. And furthermore, you know, a lot of it is just, it's just people coming up with situations back then and coming up with this story. You know, a lot of it is just crazy, you know. And in the Bible, by the way, there is no original God in the Bible. As a matter of fact, in the early part of the Bible, there are battles about who is going to be God. You know what? Just to see if anybody's watching and if any Christians want to answer me, where does this take place? Because I get lectures from Christians all the time. They're lecturing me on this. You got to read this verse and that verse. I've read it all. But see, the thing is, now I know that a lot of this stuff is, as I've been saying, it's made up stories. It's a lot of astrotheology thrown in there. And a lot of it is from much older religions. Older Egyptian religions, Mithra, which was widely practiced, 1,000 years BC and before. The Sumerians, had Gilgamesh. And those, by the way, the actual records for the Epic of Gilgamesh and all these stories, they were actually preserved in originals on clay tablets. So this is a religion far older than this one, this modern Hebrew religion. It's much older than that, and it's preserved in originals, which nobody can say about the Bible. There's no original, it would have been written on vellum back then. There's no original manuscripts of the Bible around. All we have is copies upon copies, and much of the Bible content. For instance, Exodus, first bondage in Egypt, and Exodus, which Israel was established by the UN on, is now, recent developments. David Ben-Gurion, with all the purpose and resources to go find these what did he call them? The founding documents of Zionism. He admitted that they don't exist. They've looked, they've searched high and low. He's come out and said they don't exist. And that what drives me crazy about a lot of this stuff I see on YouTube. There's these Christians running around. It's all about Israel. Oh, I watched one guy today say that this hurricane on the East Coast was because they didn't want them to sign something in Israel. I mean, really. And these people make a lot of money, you know. These people they make a lot of money on YouTube peddling this BS. So the very foundation of all this stuff supposedly is now admitted by the Israelis themselves, the Hebrews themselves, that it doesn't they've come out. David Ben-Gurion, look it up. He's come out and said, we've looked high and low. We can't find our justification for Zionism, sorry. But we're going to keep doing it anyway, of course. And the gullible Christians are just going to follow along. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's God's land and all this. It's God's chosen people. What a bunch of BS. But in short, I want to wrap this up and may do another, addition to this one. But a God that's so indifferent and plays favorites, and he picks, he's got his chosen people. And I thought he created everybody. What, he's a petty little vindictive, racist, genocidal. If that's what this God would be, first, I don't agree with it. I don't believe that it exists, or a God or a Satan or all this stuff. It's all just stories. But anyway, if such a being would require me to worship it, in short in this video, sorry, I'm indifferent to you. You're indifferent to me, I'm indifferent to you. What are you going to do about it? And I would have told, and people bring up Abraham, oh, well, God smiled favorably upon Abraham because he was a true believer. If I heard some voices in my head telling me to kill my kids or kill my dogs or something, I'd say absolutely not. Nope, I don't care what you do. So this God, what he required in this Old Testament is a psychopath. That's what it is. I'm sorry, the story of Abraham, he's a psycho. Anybody who was going to kill their kid because they heard a voice in their head is nuts. And then he goes on to perform psychopathic act after psychopathic act with Job. There's another one. He's going to test Job and a bet. He's going to destroy Job. Oh, but he won his bet with Satan. I mean, come on, people. Start thinking about this stuff seriously.